Good evening. How is everyone doing today? It has been such a long time since I've had a live lesson. First of all, I want to give everybody an update. I was really sick actually for the last more than a week. Actually, I got COVID and it really kicked my butt. So I was completely sick for basically 1 full week. I was busy before that as well, so I couldn't do a live, and then I was in bed, literally in bed for 7 days. But so I wasn't able to post any long videos. I wasn't able to do any lives, but I am feeling better. To Wednesday, actually, yesterday was the first day I felt normal. So I'm happy because I'm back, and today's Thursday, so I want to get back onto my regular schedule of doing live lessons. So thank you all for being patient with me. Hopefully it wasn't too much of an inconvenience, but I am back, and I look forward to working with all of you guys again. Paramesh, hey bro, how's it going? Nice to see you, buddy. Yeah, like I said, sorry I haven't posted a video or done a live. I was so sick. This is the second time I got COVID. The first time was about more than a year ago, and it wasn't so bad the first time, but this time was really tough. That was really tough. Much better, Paramesh. Thank you. Much better. I feel back to normal today. Had a regular day at work, at my school. I was actually coaching basketball. I just got home. But yeah, thank you for asking me. But yeah, it was tough. It was a tough week. So yeah, I appreciate that, Paramesh. And I am working on getting a better time for you as well. I know 4 o'clock is a good time for you, Paramesh. So I'm gonna work on making a lesson during that time. I need to move my schedule around a bit, but I'm definitely trying my best. So today's actually going to be a really good lesson. It's not that difficult of a lesson. What we are going to be focusing on today is we're going to be focusing on by versus until. So a lot of times people will confuse these two words, and that's what we're going to focus on. It's not that hard to understand. Once I give you the trick, you should be able to do it. You should be able to understand very easily. But the great thing about this lesson is after we do a couple of exercises, we're going to do a great speaking exercise. This is going to be where you get a chance to speak a lot. It's going to be situational training. So it's going to be a really good exercise to improve your speaking. So make sure you watch until the end. If you're busy, you can always come back and watch it on the replay, but definitely watch the last part of this video because it's a great speaking opportunity. You're very welcome, Paramesh. You're very welcome. So let's put the lesson onto the screen right now. And like I said, today we're going to be doing by versus until. I left in a slang word today, pig out. I'm not sure if you guys have heard this before. Basically, pig out. If we look at the example sentence, it says, this golden week, I pigged out so much. I need to go on a diet now. For those of you who are wondering, Golden Week is a holiday here in Japan. It's 1 week holiday in May. So it says, I pigged out so much, I need to go on a diet now. So here we've got diet. So that means obviously I'm trying to lose weight. So I want to lose weight. So that means I Pigged out so much means I ate a lot. I ate a lot. Right? So if you want to tell someone that you ate a lot, then you can say, I pigged out. I pigged out. Okay, let's jump right into this grammar today. Today's going to be, I'm excited about this lesson. I'm excited about the last part of this lesson. I actually made it today. I added on to this lesson, but let's go over the grammar first. And we're going to be looking at until and by. Now, they both have very similar meanings. Basically, they mean any time before, but not later than some point. So to better understand that, if we've got a line here, we're going to be using by and until to talk about this one point. Now, it can be finished. You can complete it. You can do it before or directly on the point. But you cannot do it after. You cannot do it after. So that's what they both mean. But we use them differently. So first, let's look at until. What does until mean? Until means how long a situation continues. We're talking about the total length of time. We're not talking about the one point. We're not talking about a deadline. We're talking about the total amount of time. It continues and then it stops. So it continues and then it stops. So basically, I'm going to get rid of all this up here to explain it easier. Whenever we're talking about until, so again, we have a timeline. We have a timeline. And let's say it begins here and it finishes, it ends here. So we are talking about this total amount of time here. So the time between the beginning and the end. So if we look at the example sentence, it says, I lived in LA until 2010. All right. So if you look, I began living in LA here. Then I continued and continued and continued. And this point is going to be 2010. All right. Down below, I'll work until 10:30. So same thing. It's continuing and continuing, talking about the total amount of time that you are working. That's how we use until. And I'm going to give you another trick later to easily choose by and until. But first, let's just go over the concept. Next, we have by. By is mainly used for deadlines. Deadlines. If you have a deadline, it's the exact time or the exact day, the point that something must be completed. Then we use by. For example, I have to finish the project by Friday. So my deadline is Friday. So I'm always going to do by plus deadline. By plus deadline. And then next we've got a question. Do we have to pay our taxes by the 15th? All right, so the deadline is the 15th. I want to know, is that the deadline? All right, so those are the differences between by and until. Now, there is an easier way to understand which to use, and that is number 3 here. We want to know the type of action. We want to look at the verb. Now, we have two types of verbs. One verb is continuing. The verb is moving into the future. It doesn't finish. It's a continuous verb. Another type of verb is performed only once. It begins and ends. So that is a, performed once verb. Now, let's look at an example. Let's look at an example here. Now, if we look at the verb sleep, the verb sleep, this verb is continuing. When I'm sleeping, this action is continuing. Hopefully, for most of you, it's going to continue for 6, 7, 8 hours. The action of sleep continues. So sleep is a continuous verb. Right? Now we've got this other verb here, wake up. Wake up. In the morning, your alarm clock goes off. Ring, 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 ring. Suddenly your eyes open. This action, wake up, it happens and then it stops. This verb doesn't continue. It doesn't continue. The action of waking up is not slowly happening and continuing. It just happens and it finishes. So wake up, it only happens one time. All right, so if we understand if the verb is continuous and if the verb is happening only once, then it's easy to choose by and until. If it is a continuous verb, I am going to use until. If the verb happens only once, it begins and ends, there's no continuing, then I use by. All right, so let's look at the two examples, the two example sentences. It says, I will sleep until 9 a.m. So I'm going to continue to sleep until 9 a.m. So I use until. I cannot use by here. Then if we look at the wake up, I have to wake up by 7 a.m. So the deadline is 7. Maybe I need to catch my train. Maybe I need to catch my bus. Maybe I have a morning meeting. So there's a deadline to wake up, and wake up happens only once and it ends. So I use by. All right, so that is another way that you can use to figure out whether to use until or by. So let's look at some verbs now. Let's look at some verbs. And if we look at number 1, live, all I want you to tell me, is this a continuous verb or is it a verb that happens and ends? It doesn't continue. All right, so you can just tell me in the comments section, it continues or doesn't continue. All right, so please answer continues or doesn't continue. All right, so let's look at number 2. Number 2, does this verb continue or does it not continue? What do you think? Think about the action of arrive and Pramesh, continue. Okay, so arrive, continue. So this is where it gets tricky. So I want you to imagine, Pramesh, I want you to imagine that you come to my house. Right, so you're driving from your house to my house. You drive, you reach my house, you arrive. After that point, does the verb continue? Does the verb continue? So here, arrive, I would say it doesn't continue. All right, so it doesn't continue. Oh, I put it on the wrong one. Arrive. There we go. Doesn't continue. Number 2, leave. Leave. Is it continuing or not continuing? And Parmesh doesn't continue. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So same sort of thing. I want you to imagine you're at your house right now and you will walk out the door. You will leave. The action of opening the door, stepping outside, closing the door, that is leaving, right? That doesn't continue. It's just a one-time action. All right. Now, what about stay? What about stay? Now, I want you to imagine right now, I'm going to tell you, I want you to stay in front of your computer. I want you to stay in front of your laptop. So the word stay, does this continue or not continue? Parmesh, stay, it continues. Perfect. Perfect. It continues. What about return? Return. I want you to imagine that you borrow a camera from a friend and you're going to return it. That action, does it continue or does it not continue? Parmesh, doesn't continue. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to put DC there. Teresa, hey, how are you? Long time no talk. I hope you're doing well. All right, let's keep going. Wake up. Wake up. And Paramesh, you've already answered wake up. Doesn't continue. Yeah, so we already went over this one. Wake up definitely does not continue. It's a one-time action. It's a one-time action. Drive, the action of driving, right? That's definitely going to continue. Perfect, Paramesh. That's definitely going to continue. And then sleep. Sleep, 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 Paramesh. Continue. Yes, sleep is definitely something that continues. This past week, I slept so much. I was on such heavy, strong medication. So all I was doing was sleeping. Pay, right? Think about you're at a restaurant. The check comes, you pay. That action, as Pramesh says, doesn't continue. Perfect. Oh. You're very welcome, Teresa. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. And last one here, speak. Speak. Pramesh, continue. Perfect. Right. So now all of these, we've got 10 verbs. Basically, we already know which word we would use. Right. So arrive. If you ever make a sentence and you need to use arrive, we'd use by. I have to arrive at my office by 9 a.m. If I want to catch the train, I have to leave my house by 7. Stay. I'm gonna go on vacation, and I think I'll stay there for a week. But I need to return next week. I need to return by next week because of work. So all of these verbs will tell you which preposition to use. It'll tell you whether you must use by or until. That's a neat little trick to figure it out. So let's continue. Let's start actually doing some exercises here. The next exercise is you must choose whether we use by or until to complete the sentence. You must choose whether we use by or until to complete the sentence. So for example, number one, the photos should be developed something Thursday. The photos should be developed. I'll make this as big as I can. There we go. Hopefully that's big enough for everybody to see. What would you use here? Would you use by or until? The photos should be developed something Thursday. Now here, there are two verbs. There's should, there's three verbs actually, should, be, and then developed. Should and be, these are both a causative verb. They're not the main verb. You always have to look at the main verb if you want to understand if it is a continuous verb or a one-time verb. Okay. It's not letting me do my arrows properly. There we go. All right, so here we've got the photos should developed Paramesh by Thursday. By Thursday, yeah. So developed, because it's past tense, that means the action is done. It's not going to continue. The action is done, so we would say by. So it really depends on the verbs we use, right? Because this verb is past tense, developed, that means the action's done, then we would use a by. Now, if I changed the verb, I could make the same type of sentence using until. For example, if I said I have, or let's say the studio has until Thursday to develop the photos. All right, so now here, because my verb is has, have is a continuous verb, so I would use until. So it really depends on the verb you are using. All right, let's look next at number 2. Wait here, something, I get back. Wait here, something, I get back. Pretty much you got here, wait here until, and then you fix it at the back until I get back. Perfect. Yes. So the verb wait is a continuous verb. So it's going to be until. Wait here until I get back. Perfect. So we would fill this with until. All right. Number 3, I expect the dishes to be done something the time I leave. All right, number 3, I expect the dishes to be done something the time I leave. Teresa, number 2, until perfect. Perfect. What about number 3? Now here, I expect the dishes to be done. All right, so here the verb we're looking at, done. Done doesn't continue, right? So Teresa, by the time I leave. Perfect. Perfect. I expect the dishes to be done by the time I leave. All right, what about number 4? I think people will be vacationing on the moon, something the year 2075. Pramesh, by the time I leave. Perfect. Perfect for number 3. Number 4. Number 4 is a good one. I like this one. I think people will be vacationing on the moon, something the year 2075. Okay, so let's just try to make this a little bit bigger here. I don't think it's going to get bigger. Okay, so this is a trick one. This is a trick one. I put the big star here because it's a trick one. So for number 4, both Teresa, you've said until. Pramesh, you've said until as well. Now, if we think just about the verb vacationing is a continuous verb, right? So yeah, by that standard, as I said before, by that standard, that means we should use until. But as you can see, I've got my big star here. That means something is unusual. Something's a trick. Now, this action, vacationing on the moon, this action is not a current action. It's not happening right now, right? It's a future action. Anytime we're talking about a future action that's not happening right now, we can't use until because there's no beginning point. Because there's no beginning point, then we can't have an end point because it hasn't started yet. So if we're talking about any future action, then we would put here by. I think people will be vacationing on the moon by the year 2075. So that means right now we're not doing it, but definitely the deadline is 2075. At some point before 2075, people will be vacationing on the moon. Any future event, there's no starting point yet. So we would use by here. All right, number 5, we have to finish the assignment. And I think, Paramesh, you've already got it here, by next week. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So right here, we've got by next week. All right, number 6, I stayed up something 2 a.m. Choose a future event. Yes, use by in that situation. And a lot of times we make sentences like that, especially if we're talking about our own life. You know, everybody, we all have some goals in our life, right? So if I'm going to scroll back down to number 4 here so people can see, we all have goals in our life. There are certain things that we want to complete. We want to finish by a certain time. For instance, let's say, I want to have run 100 kilometers by next week. That's kind of my goal. Maybe if you're working at a company, I plan to be promoted by next year. So these are these goals that we have, future goals. We usually put by and then the deadline, the goal date. All right, so number 6, I stayed up, Puramesh, until 2 a.m. Perfect. All right, number 7, I'm out of town, so I can't see you something next week. I can't see you something next week. Yes, Teresa, perfect. Future goal, please use by. I'm out of town, so I can't see you. All right, so here, see, right? If we see, it's a continuous action, but I can't see, that's also continuing. That's also continuing. I'm out of town. Let's say I'm in New York, you're in Los Angeles. So that means while I'm in New York, I cannot see you. I cannot meet you. That is going to continue. So number 7, I would use until. Until. I'm out of town, so I can't see you until next week. Number 8, we've got here Teresa, until, perfect. Number 7, until, perfect. Yes. So number 8, you have to stay at the table. I'm at the table right now. I have to stay here. How long? Until the meal is finished. All right, so now there is the end point as well. But stay, that is a continuous verb. So number 8, yes, is until. Number 9, please call me something 8 o'clock at the latest. 8 o'clock at the latest. So, all right, Paramesh, can, but can is future. Can is actually not future. Can is actually present tense. Can is talking about the ability, what I can or can't do. So right now, I can't see you. Right? That's happening right now. And then maybe in the future, I will see you, but until then, it continues. And it's not a goal. It's not a goal, or it's not some future goal. So we would use until. Does that make sense, Paramesh? So if you look at number 4 again, we're talking about an action that hasn't happened. You know, vacationing on the moon. This doesn't happen. Nobody can vacation on the moon. Nobody can go to the moon and have a vacation. Not yet. Maybe it will happen. This person believes that 2075 is when it'll happen, or before 2075. There is the start point of a future event. That's kind of the goal. If you look at the other one, I plan to be promoted, right? That's my goal. You know, I'm planning in my own, life. If I work very hard, if I do A, B, and C, then I will get a promotion. And I think by next year. So if I stick to my plan, that's the future goal. And number 7 is I can't see you. That means it's happening right now. I can't see means not able to right now. So it's not a future goal. So what about number 9 though? Please call me something 8 o'clock at the latest. Okay, so call is using the telephone. Boop, 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 boop. So it doesn't mean you're talking on the phone. Calling is this action, hitting the buttons on the phone to enter your friend's phone number to call someone. All right, here, please call me, Teresa, by 8 o'clock at the latest. Yes, call is not a continuous action. It's not a continuous action. It happens one time. After we hit the last button and we press the green go, the action has stopped. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Pramesh. So number 9, as Teresa said, is bye. And number 10, I won't stop thinking about you. Something I see you again. I won't stop thinking about you. Something I see you again. So would this be bye, I see you again, or until I see you again? And Teresa answers here, until. And Pramesh also until. Perfect. Yeah, so the action of thinking, that is going to continue. So it's going to be until. I won't stop thinking about you until I see you again. All right, great job. All right, so we have another. This is another sort of small exercise, but this is the part. The next section is the part I'm excited about. The next part of the lesson it's called situational training. Now, recently, last year, I was lucky enough, I was fortunate enough, I finished doing my master's degree in education. And one of my focuses was on how to help people improve their English. And my thesis paper, my big paper that I submitted, was all about situational training. I believe that in order to improve English, that it's important that we connect the English to real life. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to give you a situation. So if you look at the screen, it says E, situational practice. A, situation is planning a party. All right, that is our focus today. We are going to be planning a party. Now, I think everybody who's watching right now, you've probably planned a party. All right, so I want you to continue to think about that. Think about when you planned a party. Now, we have a little bit more information. I'll read this for you. Please read along as well. And it says, you're hosting a party at your house next Saturday night. So you're the host. You've invited your friends and you want everything to be perfect. You have a lot to prepare, from cleaning the house to cooking the food to setting up decorations. There are many tasks. So what I've given here, for example, number 1, I've given the first task. To plan this party, you have task number 1. I've given you 2 words or 3 words. It's clean Saturday afternoon. Clean Saturday afternoon. Using these 2 phrases, 2 words, I want you to make a sentence about what task you must do. And please use by or until in your sentence. All right. So for example, for me, I'll do number 1 for you. And then number 2, 3, 4, you will do it yourself. For me, number 1, clean Saturday afternoon. So I can see the party is Saturday night. All right. So that means the party begins Saturday night. So Saturday afternoon, clean. My sentence would be, I have to finish cleaning my house by Saturday afternoon. I have to finish cleaning my house by Saturday afternoon. That's my task for myself. So in this situation, I've used by. All right. Now, 2 reasons why I use by. One reason is Saturday afternoon is a deadline. I've given myself a deadline. Second, let's look at the first verb, finish. Finish is a verb that doesn't continue. It happens one time. Have to is not the main verb. Cleaning is not the main verb, but finish is the main verb. It is a one-time action, so I use by. I have to finish cleaning my house by Saturday afternoon. So what I want you to do next is you're going to be looking, and I'm going to put all of the situations on the screen. We've got 2, 3, 4. Number 2 says food, 6 p.m. 3 says 3 words, ask, guess, 8 p.m. And 4, music, guests arrive. Please use this information, make a sentence about the task, and please use by or until. And this is also a good time while everybody who's watching live with me right now, I'm sure you're thinking about making some sentences, maybe you're typing. While you're doing that, if you didn't get a chance to join me live, if you're watching this on the replay, first of all, thank you for joining. Sorry I haven't posted or done a live lesson in over a week. I was really sick. But if you're watching on the replay and you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, and hit the notification bell, because pending any illnesses, I always do lessons about 3 days a week. So the notifications will let you know when my next lesson is, and which by the way, will be Saturday. Saturday, I will be doing my next live lesson. And also, in the meantime, while people are writing your answers, people who are on the replay, you can put your answers in the comment section. People who are live right now and people who are watching the replay, I have a question for you. Have any of you ever done or heard of the Versant English test? I'm going to put it onto the screen here. Has anybody ever heard of this test? Have you ever done this test? If you have, let me know in the comment section. Yes, I have. You know it. While I'm waiting for that answer, Pramesh, you have your first sentence. We have to prepare healthy food by 6 p.m. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we have to prepare healthy food. We have to cook healthy food. And then we've got by 6 p.m. So prepare, that happens only once. It doesn't continue. And there's a deadline of 6 p.m. All right. All right. Anybody else has one for 2? You can leave it in the comment section. If not, you can do number 3 as well. Teresa, I have to get food done by 6 p.m. Perfect. It's a great sentence. Yeah, I have to get food done. Yeah, and I like that you didn't use the word cook here. You know, both you and Paramesh, you didn't use cook as well. There are so many other words we can use instead of cook. You use prepare, and then Teresa you have to get food done. I understand that means to cook food. All right, perfect. Number three, ask, guess, 8 p.m. And by the way, back to that Versant English test. If you have done it before, if you've heard about it before, this test has become really popular in different areas of the world. A lot of companies are using this as a standard of measuring people's English, giving people promotions. I recently took the test, not because I was testing my English, but because I wanted to see how I could help people improve their score. So I will be having some videos out that will help you prepare for this test, hopefully in the next week or so. So if you are studying this, check out my channel within the week. I'll have my first sort of study practice for this test. All right, let's get back to by versus until. Number 3, ask, guess, 8 p.m. Ask, guess, 8 p.m. You haven't heard of it? Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know about it until last year. One of the companies I was working with, I'm working with Sony, and they use it a lot for their employees. Apparently, yeah, it's a test that tests your speaking and listening. Even if you're not taking the test, the video I've just made will help anybody improve their listening and speaking. So it'll still be helpful for anybody who, even if they're not taking the test. All right, but back to our party. Ask, guess, 8 p.m. For me, I think my sentence for this, I will say this. I will ask the guess to arrive by 8 p.m. I will ask the guests to arrive by 8 p.m. So I'm giving the guests a deadline. Arrive is a verb that doesn't continue. Right? It's a one-time verb. So I use by. And number 4 is probably going to be the most difficult one. Number 4 probably the most difficult one. Music, guests, arrive. Music, guests, arrive. Who can give me an answer for this one? This is probably, yeah, I would say this is the most difficult one. For me, what I would do, my sentence for this, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I'll give everybody a couple more seconds to answer. Music guests arrive. Music guests arrive. So remember, I'm planning a party. And if you noticed, number 1, 2, and 3, we've used by, and then food. Both the answers I saw on the screen were using by, and then number 3, I'm using by again. Let's challenge ourselves to use until. Let's challenge ourselves to use until. So pretty much you tried until here. Your sentence was, I'll be asking my friend to another one until 8 p.m. Okay, try again. Try again for this. I'm not really sure. I think there's a typo in there, so I'm not sure what the sentence is or where the music is related to this sentence. But for yours is number 3. I'll be asking my friends, I think to another, maybe it means to arrive. Maybe a typo there, until 8 p.m. Depends on what the verb would be. To something. Try doing that one again, Paramesh. If there's a typo, just fix that typo. In the meanwhile, number 4, my answer for number 4, if we're talking about music, I like to play music during parties. So most likely what I would do is I won't play the music until the guests have arrived. I won't play the music until the guests have arrived. All right, so play music. Play music means it's continuous. The verb play is a continuous verb. So won't play is also continuing. It means the action of not playing is going to continue. And then how long will it continue? Until the guests arrive. Okay. Number, what do we have? Repair mesh. I'll be asking my friend about one of my best friends until 8 p.m. Yeah, that works. I'll be asking my friend about one of my best friends until 8 p.m. Okay, so you're going to continuously ask about your friend. All right. But make sure we need to be talking about guests, though, Parmesh. We need to be talking about guests, though. Try to work in the guest as well. Teresa, what if I use the word start? Yeah, I won't start the music until the guests have arrived. Perfect. That works. Yeah. I think that's even better, Teresa. I think that's better verb than mine. Start. I won't start the music until the guests have arrived. I like that better. Good job. Okay. Let's look at our next situation. Next situation is planning a vacation. You're planning a vacation. So you're planning a vacation to a tropical island next month. You know, it can be anywhere. You're planning a vacation to go somewhere next month. There are many things you need to do before you leave. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1 says not leave current project. Number 2 is flight end of the week. Number 3 is you can use bags or suitcase, and then Thursday. And then number 4, I'm going to use the not, and then snorkeling and rental gear. Using that information, make some sentences using by and until. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. First one is a little bit easier. This one becomes a little bit more difficult. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Now, remember, you're planning a vacation. You're planning a vacation. There's so many things you need to do before you go on vacation. First thing is not leave current project. Not leave current project. This is definitely much more difficult. I'm going to give everybody a little bit more time. I get a little bit excited. I always want to put all the answers in, but I know I should give everybody a chance. And remember, if you're watching, later, I know some people who are watching live who like to just be quiet in the background, which is great as well. But make sure you try the sentences, try speaking them out loud at home. Even if you don't want to comment during the lesson, make sure you're speaking at least the English while we're talking. And then leave some of your answers in the comment section, either during the lesson or after. After the lesson's fine. People who are on the replay as well, leave your sentences. The more active you are, the better your English will be. Now, so again, number 2 here is you're planning a vacation, but there are many things you need to do before you leave. There are many things to do before you leave. Number 1, not leave, and then current project. So we're talking about work. We're talking about work. So I want you to imagine if you're working and you have a project, can you go on vacation? Will your boss say, yeah, go ahead, go? You have a project, don't worry about it. Go to Hawaii. Go to the Caribbean. Go to Thailand. Go have fun. Probably no. Your boss would be really angry. So there's something maybe you need to complete. You need to finish. All right. So Piramesh, I can't leave present project until today's evening. Okay. Okay. Remember, we're talking about vacation, though. We're talking about a vacation, though. You're really, really close to a perfect answer here, Piramesh. You're very, very close to a perfect answer. Just put the idea of vacation inside. Put the idea of vacation inside. So I can't leave, and then put vacation in there, and then present project or current project. All right, so Teresa, here we go. I cannot leave for my trip until the current project is completed. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so all we have to do is put the trip or the vacation. So I cannot leave for my trip until the current project or until my current project is completed, is finished, is done. Perfect, Teresa. Well done. All right. That's one thing. Before you go on vacation, you have to finish all your work. You have to finish all your work. The next thing you need to do, we need to talk about flights. You can't go anywhere if you don't have a flight. You cannot go anywhere if you don't have a flight. And we've got the time, which is end of the week. So what would we put for this? Hey, Supergirl, how's it going? Long time no talk. Long time no talk. I'm glad you joined me. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. I was really sick, so I'm very sorry I didn't have a live lesson recently. All right, so we've got, by the way, Supergirl, we're making sentences using by and until. So the current situation right now is we're planning a vacation, but there are many things that I have to do before I leave, many things that you have to do before you leave. First one was not leave, and then current project. So we had some good sentences, and one sentence was, I cannot leave for my trip until the current project is completed. All right, so we're using that information and we're using, as you can see on the screen, by or until. So number 2, we've got flight, end of the week. And Teresa, you have an answer here. I need to book a flight by the end of the week. Perfect. Perfect. I like that. I need to book a flight by the end of the week. All right. So the verb book means it's not continuing, right? It's not continuing. This verb is a one-time action and we have a deadline, so we use by. I need to book a flight by the end of the week. So this action happens, it happens and ends right away. It doesn't continue. Is there what's another verb instead of book? What does book mean? Teresa, what does book mean? So I need to book a flight by the end of the week. What does book mean? Yes, perfect, Teresa. So to book something means to reserve something. And we often use this when we're talking about airlines and flights. We need to book a flight. And perfect. Yeah, book a flight, make a reservation. Excellent. Excellent, Teresa. Make a reservation. All right, now, Paramesh, I have to fulfill my flight journey by the end of next week. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, let's say you have to finish the whole trip by the end of next week. Yeah. Fulfill is a one-time action, so it doesn't continue. So I have to fulfill. It's one word though, Pramesh. So fulfill, put it together. My flight journey or my journey by the end of next week. Perfect. All right. What about number 3? Bags or suitcase. You can choose whatever word you want to use. Thursday. Bags or suitcase and Thursday. Before you go on any trip, there's something you need to do with suitcases and bags. Any trip, before you go on any trip, what do you need to do? And we're talking about your suitcase or your bags. Some people may say baggage. It's not commonly used. It's really interesting. Baggage is only used in the airport. When you go to any airport, you'll see baggage claim. Other than that, we don't use baggage so much to talk in conversation when we're talking about a suitcase. We'll use bags or suitcase. So I want you to imagine you're going to go on a trip. You're going to go to Hawaii. Right. So what do you need to do with your bags and suitcases? And then you got Thursday. All right. We've got an answer here. I need some bags or suitcases by Thursday. Sure. Yeah. So maybe you don't have a bag. So you need to maybe you need to buy some bags or suitcases by Thursday. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And I want to say your name. I want to pronounce your name. I don't want to make a mistake though. Is it the first word? Is it how would I say? Huen? Huen? If I'm pronouncing it wrong, please correct my spelling. I'm always nervous about mispronouncing people's names because I think growing up, everybody mispronounced my name. Just call me Regina. Okay, perfect. Regina. Nice. Regina. Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. I think I've met you before. Teresa, I will get new bags and suitcases by Thursday. Perfect, Teresa. All right. So both Regina and Teresa, your guys' answer was that you don't have a bag. You don't have to use both words. I would suggest choose one of them. So, for instance, I would say I will get a suitcase by Thursday. We don't really need to say bags or suitcase. Just one of them is fine. So here, both of you don't have a suitcase, so you're going to buy it. I want to change the situation. I want you to imagine you have a suitcase or you have a bag. That's not the situation. You have it. What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? I want you to let's imagine your flight is Friday. Your flight is on Friday. All right. So Regina, I'll drop off my suitcase by Thursday. Okay. Drop off the suitcase where? Where will you drop it off? So also make sure when you say drop off, we want to know the location of where you're dropping it off. For me personally, what I would say for this one, if I already have a suitcase, I would give myself another deadline. I need to finish packing by Thursday. I need to finish packing by Thursday. And Regina, perfect. I'll drop off my suitcase at the airport by Thursday. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect sentence. Now, any of the words I've put on the screen, you don't have to use those words if you don't want to. This is just sort of the idea. This is just a situation. And then you can use whichever word you want. You can change the words. The next scenario is this. So the situation is we're talking about snorkeling, but not snorkeling, and then rental gear or some type of like scuba gear, snorkeling gear, mask, snorkel. Pramesh, I can prepare my suitcase properly by Thursday. Yeah, I know that is just a typo, but perfect. Good. Prepare is okay. Grammatically, you're fine. Pramesh using prepare. I would probably use a different word than prepare. Prepare is more like get ready, mentally or get paperwork ready. For suitcases, we don't really prepare the things. I would change that verb. Grammatically, you are completely correct. I can finish packing my suitcase properly by Thursday. I can get ready properly by Thursday. I can get my suitcase done by Thursday. That would also work. Number 4 is the toughest one. Number 4 is the toughest one here. The situation we're talking about snorkeling. Obviously, I'm going to an island. I'm going to maybe Hawaii, and I'm planning to go snorkeling. But here I'm gonna use not, and then I've got the word rental gear. So maybe scuba rental equipment, or a snorkel, or a mask, or maybe a wetsuit. All right, snorkeling. Regina, snorkeling is when you go into the ocean, right? So you're in the ocean, you're going to be swimming, you're going to have a mask on, and then you're going to have a tube that goes in your mouth and it goes up. So you put your head into the water, but the tube is above the water. So you can still breathe while you're looking in the ocean. And so you can look at fish and things like that. Rental gear. Gear means equipment. Gear means equipment. All right, so gear means equipment. Rental means that you have to rent the equipment. You know, if I'm not a scuba diver or a snorkeler, a professional, so that means if I go to Hawaii, if I go to Vietnam, if I go to Thailand, and I want to go snorkeling, I need to rent the equipment. I need to rent the equipment. I don't have it. I love your sentence, by the way, Regina. The rental gear thingy. That's great. That's very, very native English like. So, and I gave a big hint there. You know, if you've ever gone snorkeling or you plan on going snorkeling, most people can't do it until, okay. So, Regina, I can't go snorkeling without rental gear. No, gear is uncountable. That sentence is perfect. Now, Regina, I want you to have the same idea, same sentence, but now this time, please add by and until. Please add by and until into the sentence. So you're completely correct. You know, I can't go snorkeling without rental gear. Same idea, same concept. Just add, change it a little bit, and add by or until into your sentence. All right, Teresa. All right, I like it here. You've used just the idea. You've made your own original sentence. I don't know how to use snorkeling until my friend teaches me. All right, you got all the right ideas. You got all the right ideas here. We just need to change a couple of the words. So, Teresa, I don't know how to. It's interesting. Snorkeling is an activity. And snorkel itself is going to be the verb. So snorkel will be a verb. So you might want to say here, I don't know how to snorkel, all right, until my friend teaches me. And then this is going to be future. So I won't know how to snorkel until my friend teaches me. I won't know how to snorkel until my friend teaches me. Okay, so change it to the future, won't, and then snorkel will be my verb. But great, very good, Teresa. Exactly, Regina. I can't go snorkeling until I have rental gear. Perfect. Perfect. Pramesh, I can't go snorkeling until my trainer comes with rental gear. Perfect. Just don't forget the S. Perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Has anybody ever gone snorkeling? If you did you like it? I've gone a few times. Teresa, I won't know how to snorkel until my friend teaches me. Perfect. Okay, let's look at the next situation. The next situation, I'm sure all of us have experienced this. All of us have experienced this situation. Situation number, it's not number 1, it should be situation number 3. Waiting for the bus. Waiting for the bus. Okay, so I want you to imagine now, this is your situation. You are at the bus stop waiting for your bus. Right now, it is 8:30 a.m. and the bus is already 10 minutes late. The bus should have come at 8:20. All right, so the bus should have come at 8:20. It's 8:30 right now. You've been waiting 10 minutes. All right, that's the situation. I think this is a situation we've all experienced. Buses are often late. So we've probably all been in this situation. All right, so I'm going to show you each of the 4 sentences I want you to make, but let me just look at some of the comments. So Teresa, you've gone once. Did you like it? I really liked it. I really liked snorkeling. Regina, actually, no, though I'm living in a country you said before. Okay. Yeah, that happens. That happens. Regina, I used to go surfing a lot. I used to go surfing so much when I lived in a city that wasn't really famous for surfing, but I used to go almost every day. And then I moved to Los Angeles, where surfing is super famous, and I lived, in fact, at the beach. My front yard was the beach, and I never went surfing. I don't know why. It's strange. Okay, we're waiting for the bus. It's 8:30 a.m. The bus should have arrived at 8:20, so we've been waiting 10 minutes. This bus is late. All right. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite one. These 4 are my favorite. Number 1, we've got 8:40 a.m. and we've got taxi. 8:40 a.m. and taxi. That is the information I'm giving you. All right, now I'm going to give you this information here. So remember, it's 8:30 right now. You've been waiting 10 minutes. The bus is already 10 minutes late. Should have been at 8:20. So now we've got a time 8:40 and we've got the word taxi. What sentence would you make for this? So Teresa, I liked it because I was able to see the beautiful sea creatures under the sea. Yeah, yes, me too. I really liked it. And Teresa, a lot of I explained snorkeling as the mask with the tube that goes from your mouth to outside of the water. That's traditional snorkeling. But the last time I was in Hawaii, I actually bought some snorkeling gear, and it was a mask that has nothing that goes in your mouth. It's a full head mask. and the top of the mask has the tube. So nothing goes in your mouth. So you just breathe normally. And after I bought that, I fell in love with snorkeling. It was so much easier. I would just breathe normally, and I could just go all over and see all these, amazing looking fish. So you should try that if you haven't already. Regina, the taxi should arrive by 8:40 a.m. The sentence is perfect. The sentence is perfect. The taxi should arrive by 8:40 a.m. But remember our situation. Remember our situation, Regina. We're at the bus stop. We're at the bus stop. It's 8:30. I'm waiting at the bus stop. The bus should have come at 8:20. So there's no mention of a taxi. There's no mention of a taxi yet. Your sentence is perfect. The taxi should arrive by 8:40. Let's try adding a little bit more information. How does the taxi get into this situation? How do we introduce the taxi into this situation? Yeah, it was. It's amazing, Teresa. Really, really amazing. It's a full mask, right? I always had trouble breathing through that tube. But with this, there's nothing. There's nothing to put in your mouth. You just breathe normally. You can talk. Nobody can hear you, but you can talk. All right, Parmesh, I will get taxi by 8:40, or else I might have missed the train. Okay, I like it. We're getting closer here. So I will get a taxi by 8:40, or else, let's just change that spelling. It's going to be or else I might miss my train. Not have missed, but I might miss my train. All right, Paramesh, very good. Regina, the bus should arrive by 8:40. The taxi comes because you called it. The bus is late. Yes, this is what I want you to do. So exactly this. So I want you to imagine, and this is me. This is my thinking as well. I'm at the bus stop, and it's 8:30. I'm like, okay, the bus is supposed to come at 8:20. There's no bus. I don't see it anywhere. So I will probably give myself a deadline before I do another action. And for me, the other action would be a taxi. All right. So maybe right now I'm going to wait. But maybe at a certain point, I'll call a taxi. All right. So, Regina, with that, try to make a sentence. So you have all the information. You're right. You're thinking the same way I am. Now let's just put it into a sentence. All right, we got another one here. I waited for the bus until 8:40 a.m. I couldn't wait, so I took a taxi. Perfect. I would add one more word here. I waited for the bus until 8:40, but I couldn't wait any longer. I couldn't wait any longer, so I took a taxi. All right, let's put that onto the screen here. That's a good sentence. I like it. I'll put it right here. So I waited for the bus until 8:40, but I couldn't wait. All right, so I waited for the bus until 8:40, but I couldn't wait any longer, so I took a taxi. All right, so then we've got, and I want to as well. I again, pronunciation. I'm not really sure how to pronounce your name. If you can tell me how to pronounce it, I will definitely love to hear that. Fuang Le. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Regina, the bus was late. I don't want to wait, so I called a taxi. It should arrive by 8:40 a.m. Perfect. Perfect. Just put a taxi, not the taxi. Teresa, if the bus doesn't come by 8:40, I'll take a taxi. Perfect. Perfect. If the bus doesn't come by 8:40, I'll take a taxi. Perfect. And then again, Regina, so you're adding a little bit more. The bus is late, comma, though I could wait, but I don't want to. You don't need but because you've got though. We don't need to put but. The bus was late, though I could wait. I don't want to wait, so I called a taxi. It should arrive by 8:40 a.m. Perfect. My sentence is simple, super simple. I'll wait until 8:40 a.m. and if the bus doesn't come, I'll call a taxi. I'll wait until 8:40 a.m. and if the bus doesn't come, I'll call a taxi. All right, now, next, number 2. All right, so we're still waiting now. We're waiting. I've got smartphone games. Bus reaches bus stop. So for a lot of these situations as well, I want you to imagine that you're in that situation. And so for me, number 1, I was imagining this. Like it's 8:30, bus is 10 minutes late. Probably, I'm going to work, right? And I'm probably panicking. I don't want to be late. So I've given myself a deadline, 10 more minutes. I'll wait 10 more and then taxi. And then if I'm with a friend, what would I say to my friend? I would probably say to my friend, hey, let's wait 10 more minutes. And then if the bus doesn't come, let's call a taxi. All right, let's wait until 8:40 and then call a taxi. All right, what about next one? Those smartphone games, bus reaches the bus stop. So I guess I'll just play games on my phone until the bus reaches the bus stop. Perfect. Perfect, Regina. That is a perfect sentence. Do you play any games on your phone, Regina? Is there any game that gets you addicted or helps you pass or kill the time? No. Yeah, me too. I don't play any games on my phone. I read manhwa. Manhwa? What is manhwa? Manga? Like comics? All right, Paramesh, you said, I'm trying to play mobile games until the bus comes. Perfect sentence. Grammar is perfect. I'm trying. I would probably just say I'm playing. I will play. Trying is, something that's difficult to do. So I'll challenge it. I'll try it. But playing the games, it's on your phone, so it's easy to do. Okay, so Regina, it's like manga, it's like comics, but with color. Okay, nice, nice. All right, but I like the sentences by both of you guys. Let's look at number 3. We've got two more here, and I'll leave number 2 on the screen just in case people want to still do that. You can see the information. Number 3 says there are 3 words. Need work 9 a.m. All right, so my name is difficult to pronounce. You read the word fo versus ng. Kinda. Fo versus ng. Okay. I wish I could hear you. I want to hear you say it. I love people's names. I always like to say them correctly. And I know I'm going to say it wrong. Fong. I think that's wrong. I'm so sorry. Please shout as loud as you can. Maybe I can hear you. My name is really difficult too. And so I understand that. Teresa, I'll play smartphone games to kill the time until a bus reaches here. Yeah, good. Perfect. To make it a little bit more native-like, instead of reaches here, I think I put it here. I put the word reaches here. But again, if possible, and if you think you can change the word, change it. And honestly, if I'm speaking, I would say gets here. Gets here. I wouldn't say arrive. I would say gets here. I'll play smartphone games to kill the time until a bus gets here. Mira, good evening. How are you today? I like the pink hand. I like the pink wave. That's awesome. Regina, for number 3, you've got, I only need to work until 9 a.m. It's fung, kind of like that. I can pronounce it, but I don't know how to write it down. Fung. Okay. Fu or fung? Fung. Okay. I think I'm getting better. I'm getting closer. Thank you, Regina. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And your sentence was perfect. I only need to work until 9 a.m. Do you imagine? That would be so great. Only working until 9 a.m. I would love that job. If you're like before, it's okay. Okay. Thank you so much. But I am going to get it perfect. Before I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to do some Google research to make sure I can pronounce your name perfectly. Going good, sir. Missed many sessions. I'm not sure when you're live, such as. Yeah, Mira, I was actually very sick, so I wasn't able to have any lessons for a while. So today's the first lesson in over a week. So you didn't miss any. Thanks, Regina. All right, Teresa, I'm supposed to start work by 9 a.m. Perfect. All right, so you changed the word. Instead of need, you put supposed to, which I love. You're supposed to start work by 9 a.m. Yeah, so that's a great sentence. Most likely you're panicking right now because the bus is late. Perfect sentence. Now, the last one today, I didn't put a word. I've just put this emoji here. I want you to use that. You've probably all used it before. It's not a high five. Even though it's if you put high five, that comes out. This is not a high five. I forgot your word need. No, but that's fine, Teresa. You use supposed to, which is great. You know, that's a great sentence. I'm supposed to start work by 9 a.m. I like this because supposed to is telling me, it's telling the listener, there is a possibility that you will not work at 9 a.m. or you will not arrive at 9 a.m. because your train is delayed, or so your bus is, you're not train, your bus is delayed, your bus is not there. So I'm supposed to is perfectly fine. So this is actually the last exercise, last sentence for today's lesson. I wish I would have prepared more. I'll definitely make sure I prepare more for next time. But this is my favorite one because I've added an emoji into it. And I've got the emoji here. It's like this, 8:40 a.m. and then or late. Okay. And again, if you've joined a little bit late, remember the situation is you're waiting at the bus stop. It's 8:30 right now. The bus should have been there at 8:20. So it's already 10 minutes late. All right. So that's the information. Let's see. We got Regina, please. I have to get there by 8:40 a.m. or I'll be late. Okay, yeah, please. You're praying to God. Please, I have to get there by 8:40 or I'll be late. Perfect. Paramesh, I wish I weren't there by 8:30. I wish I weren't there by 8:30. I wish the bus. Okay, so I think I know what you're trying to say here. I would do this. I wish the bus would have come by 8:30. Maybe that sentence, I think. I wish the bus would have come by 8:30. Does anybody else have a sentence for this? So somebody said, please, like you're kind of like praying, you're saying please to God, please. What else can we say? Instead of please, what verb could we use? What verb could we use that means this? And it is, you're basically praying, you know, you're praying to God that something happens, but there's a verb that we could use. Now, whenever you guys see this emoji here, you know, I would say in English, the verbs, there's a few verbs we could use. The verbs we would probably use for here, the easiest one is just pray. You could use pray. You could use hope. You could use wish. Those are three verbs we use for this action. For me, I would probably say hope in this one, hope. So my sentence for this would probably, and I'll give you guys about another 10 seconds to give an answer. It's people who haven't given an answer. And then I'll give you my answer. So Regina, yours, I hope I'll be there by 8:40 a.m. or I'll be late. Okay, that's a good sentence, but there's no way you'll be there by 8:40 because the bus is not there. Sentence is perfect though. I would change the I would change the subject to the bus. So I'm going to build on Regina's answer there. That's what I would have. My answer would be this. Let's see. Teresa has an answer before I put. So you're talking to the taxi driver. Please get me to my office by 8:40 a.m. or I'll be late. Yes, I love it. I love it. So you've created the situation. You're in the taxi, and yeah, you've said to the taxi driver, please get me to the office by 8:40 a.m. or I'll be late. Excellent. Perfect answer, Teresa. And so that one, you're physically talking to someone. If you're just talking to yourself, like probably myself, if I'm talking to myself, I'll probably say, I hope the bus gets here by 8:40 a.m. or I'll be late. I'm probably calculating time. And for me, the bus needs to get here by 8:40 a.m. or I'll definitely be late. But I like that, Teresa. You're talking to the taxi driver. All right. Well done. All right. And again, unfortunately, that was the last one for today's lesson, the last sort of situation. I think it's important that whenever you learn any type of, English, make sure you do some situational training. Figure out if I'm in this situation or that situation, what sentence would I make? That's the easiest way to connect the English to real life. It's the easiest and fastest way to improve your English. So don't just study grammar and vocabulary. Make sure you're training the actual situation, the real life situation. All right. So before I sign off here, does anybody have any questions while I charge my computer? Does anyone have any questions about today, by, or until, or about any of these sentences, or about any English topic? Or if you want to ask a question about LA, where I used to live, Canada, where I'm from, or Tokyo, where I live now, fire away, fire away. And if there are no questions, that's also fine. And anybody watching on the replay, any questions about today's lesson, just let me know. Regina, what's LA like? It's amazing. It's amazing. Like I said, I'm from Canada. I'm from Vancouver. I've lived in 4 different cities. Vancouver, Tokyo now, New York a little bit, and then LA. And LA easily the best place I've ever lived. Easily the best place I ever lived. It's just an amazing place. There's no winter. It's always summer. There's no humidity. It's dry weather. People love, their own free time. They slow down to enjoy life. It's not, work is important. LA, don't get me wrong. LA is very much about possessions and, its monetary value is really important, but people also really take the time to enjoy. So definitely, if you ever get a chance to live or go to LA, definitely do so. Teresa, what's the difference between awake and wide awake? They're both the same thing. Your eyes are open, you're not sleeping. Wide awake means you are so alert. Like you are it's like you've drunk like a Red Bull. You've had like 2 Red Bulls and you're like, "Oh, I'm awake." It means wide awake. Your eyes are big. and you're completely awake. You're not even close to being sleepy. How to learn vocabulary and use it? I see a lot of people buy vocabulary books and just read them. And if that works for those people, that's great. Congratulations to you. Honestly, I think that'll never work. I think the only way to learn vocabulary and remember it is to actually use it and see it in context. For me, of course, I'm a native English speaker, but I also speak Japanese. I've never studied Japanese. The only way I learned Japanese is just by watching TV, listening to people, hanging out with friends. So I think those are going to be the easiest sort of tools for you. Things like YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, Disney, whatever kind of things you like to watch, definitely do that. Podcasts. But one of the best things to do is actually read a book. And don't read something that is boring. Don't read something that you don't like. You have to read something that you're interested in. Like if you love Harry Potter, read Harry Potter. If you love fashion, read fashion stuff. If you love manga, read manga. Just read it in English. When you're reading these types of things, you're reading how we speak. That's the easiest way to learn vocabulary. Teresa, can I use wide awake when I hear the alarm goes off? No, I wouldn't use wide awake in this situation because the moment you're sleeping and the alarm goes off, then you wake up, you're not really wide awake yet because you're still half asleep. So I wouldn't use wide here. Whenever I set my alarm, I set like 5, 6 alarms on my phone. And usually like the third one rings and then I begin speaking to my phone and I'll say, yeah, I'm awake. I'm awake. So I'm talking to my phone. I'm saying I'm awake. I'm awake. I don't say I'm wide awake. Maybe I would say I'm wide awake. The nuance I would say is like, let's say it's 1 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You should be sleeping. You should be going to bed, but you can't. Like, you're just like, oh my God, I'm wide awake. I can't sleep. How do I learn grammar? Again, there's all these textbooks. I think there's so many books that you can use to learn grammar where they break down each, sort of grammatical function. You could use those to learn grammar. Every one of my lessons on YouTube is following a grammar function, and then it's just speaking exercises with it. From your answers, Regina, it sounds like your grammar is okay. If it's for writing, then, if you want to improve your grammar for writing, then that's going to be things like you just need to write a lot. Like writing English is the most difficult skill. Speaking is so much easier. Listening is so much easier. Writing intelligibly, writing at like an academic level or at a professional level is very difficult, and it takes a lot of practice. But grammar as well, like I said to Fung, that it's reading books. You're going to see the grammar, and it's how we speak. But I think, what's the goal? What's your goal? Is your goal to take a grammar test, a TOEIC test, a Versant test, whatever test, like a ELTS test? Or is your goal to speak? If your goal is to speak, then I wouldn't worry about like grammar so much, right? Because, native speakers, we don't speak grammatically correct all the time. Teresa, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So Regina, what's your goal for grammar? Is it for taking a test, or is it just you want to speak perfectly? Suggestions for books. What are you into? What are you into? That's a good question. What are you into? Like, what kind of things do you like to do? Do you like fashion? Do you like shopping? Do you like romance? Do you like cooking? Do you like sports? Do you like manga? You know, I had a friend, and this was when I was living in LA, and my friend, she asked me, how do I improve? Like, she spoke really well, but she wanted to go to the next level. And she asked, how do I improve? So you gotta, reading is one of the greatest ways to improve your English. And I knew her. She was a friend of mine. I knew the things that she liked to do. So I just said, listen, and that was the time when Twilight, do you guys remember the movie Twilight? I knew that was the types of movies or books that she would like. I told her to read those. She read them all. English improved so much. So manga, you like manga? Yeah, any manga that you can find in English, get it and read it. Any manga you can find in English, get it and read it. And there's so many different types of manga, right? Whatever you like to do, whatever you like to watch, whether it's, a lot of the old school mangas are coming back in Japan, like things like Slam Dunk or Nana, One Piece, all of these things. If you can find the English copy of it online or, physical copy, get those and read them. The mangas are great because there's so many series, right? So it'll get you continuing to read them, which will improve your English. So Regina, taking a test. So yours is for taking a test. Taking a test, if you're doing it just strictly for taking a test, then IELTS test, like the IELTS test, you need to break each section down, right? Section A, what am I being tested on? B, C, D, etc. For each part of the test, this is not it's not an English test. It is an English test, but it's not. This is, if you have strategy and you know how to take the test, you'll do well. So for each section, you want to study specifically for that section. So for the grammar section, I would study the actual grammar that is being tested on IELTS. And that is just breaking down each grammar function. If you find an old TOEIC book or a TOEFL book, they'll have every grammar that you need to know. And I would just go through each one of those, and there's example sentences and questions with that. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, I know manga is a great tool for improving English. So the more you read, you improve so much. And that's the thing. It has to be something you like. No, not tofu, but TOEFL. TOEFL. I'm going to put it, I'll make a banner here. TOEFL. And if you ever decide, listen, I want to go study university in the US or in Canada, in order to study uni in US or Canada, if you're coming from a non-native speaking country, you first need to take the TOEFL test and get a specific score before you can get into it. But yeah, these books will have all of the grammar. But the thing is, you don't need to buy the book. Just Google it online, TOEFL grammar, and you can look at it that way. But it's very dry. It's not very exciting. I have a bunch of grammar lessons. Regina, if you go to my channel, you'll find my email address there. So you can always email me and I can always send you some grammar lessons. They're a little bit not as boring to do. So anytime, just send me an email and I can send you some of those lessons. All right. Any other questions? By the time, what time is it where you guys are? And what country is it? And don't worry, you don't need to answer if you don't want to. But yeah, if there are no more questions, it is okay. So it's 10. It's 10 over there. Oh, nice. It's the perfect time. It's midnight over here. Super cold. 10 in Thailand. Yeah. Is it getting cold, Teresa, in Thailand, or is it still super warm? Like it was crazy. It snowed so much in Tokyo. Like, what is it, on Monday? Fun, Vietnam. That's what I thought it was. I thought you were from Vietnam. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to make a mistake. That is definitely on my bucket list of places to go. I really want to go there. Teresa, really hot in Thailand. Yeah, it's always hot there, isn't it? Yeah, I would say we probably got like 30 centimeters of snow on Monday. Here in Tokyo. It was awesome. I loved it. Mind you, I was sick in bed, but I loved it. Vietnam is so cold, really. I don't have that image. I would have thought Vietnam was warm. What is so cold though for you? What's cold for you though? Maybe your cold is not my cold. I'm Canadian, remember. 30 degrees Celsius is normal in summer. Okay, that's nice. It's not that hot, but it's like perfect weather. What's the weather here right now? Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 4 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, see, it's
Today, expect a high of 10 degrees.
All right, so right now it's 4 degrees here in Tokyo. Not very warm. So you went outside today, you breathed out air, you could see it. Yeah, same here. Same here. So you're in northern Vietnam, so that must get cold then. Does it snow in Vietnam? And Teresa, have you ever experienced snow? $10 degrees. Okay, that's not bad. That'll be our high today. So it's very similar. It's still probably a little bit warmer there. It does snow. It does snow there. Okay. Wow, I did not know that. I learned something new. So no, not near your place. Your place is 13 degrees. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I was on Monday. One of my assistants, he's from the Philippines, and he was like taking photo after photo and video after video of all the snow in Tokyo. He was so happy. It was like I think it was like second time to see snow. So you've never seen snow in real life, just on TV. You know what? It's I someday, Teresa, you have to experience snow. It's amazing. It's amazing. Definitely cold and wet, but it's amazing. I'm sure you'll love it. Right now, actually, if you guys ever decide you want to come and you want to see snow, and you want to see like a great snow festival, the north part of Japan right now is having a snow festival. It's in Hokkaido, in Sapporo. So they have these massive, huge snow sculptures that they make. And it's just like 4 or 5 blocks of snow sculptures. Does the whitish thing, but not ice in the fridge, count as snow? No, that's not snow. No, very, very funny though. Regina, where did you learn your English? It's 27 degrees at night and 36 degrees at daytime. I hate hot weather. Dude, that sounds great for me right now. 4 degrees right now. It's cold and it's a little cold in this room. I'm wearing hoodie again, as always. By the way, how do you guys like my new hoodie? It's a little sad bunny. That sounds great, Teresa. 27 degrees. And if I were in Thailand, I would be able to eat like a lot of amazing Thai food. From the computer, Mom wasn't talking to AIs. In the northern mountain, when the temperature drops to 1 or 2 degrees, there's snow. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. That is awesome. I love snow. I don't know why. I don't ski or snowboard, but I love snow. All right, so we've got Vietnam and Thailand. What, in your opinion, what's like the best food that people don't know about? Obviously, there's, both your guys' countries are super famous for food. Wow, I can't imagine it's snowing though in Vietnam. So what is that, Regina? I don't even know. Bam Xiao? How would you say that? XEO. What is it? What is that? Traditional cake on the holidays. Banh Trung. Oh, okay. Is it sweet? Yeah, I think there's so many foods I just don't know about in Vietnam and in Thailand as well. Bang Hong. It's really tough to get good Vietnamese food in Japan. And it's really not as tough, but it is still difficult to get good Thai food as well. LA, you asked me about LA. I've never been to Vietnam, so I can't say for sure, but Vietnamese food in LA was really good. Thai food in LA is really good. All right, I'm gonna have to Google search all of these things that you're giving me here for my first visit to Vietnam. What are these things? All right, let's see. That didn't work. All of the dishes you're saying begin with B-U-N or B-A-N. What does that mean? Oh, that last one's like a spicy Vietnamese beef and pork soup. Wow. I think people know many kinds of Thai food, like tom yum goong, somtam, sticky rice with mango. Yes, yes. You know, one of my goals, Teresa, one of my goals, I love cooking when I have time. One of my goals is I want to learn how to make pad ki mao. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Pad ki mao, kind of like super, super spicy food. Does it translate to drunken noodles, I think? I really want to learn how to make that. That's my favorite, I think, Thai food. So bam means cake. Oh, okay. Hey, isn't there a sandwich called banh mi? Is that a different spelling? Banh mi? Yeah, tom yum is great. I love that soup. And that Bumbo who? I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I'm probably not saying it right, but that looks delicious. I'm looking at it right now. I love spicy food. Yeah, pad ki mao. Yeah, it's very. I love pad ki mao. It's my favorite noodle dish in Thailand, and you can't get it here in Japan. You can't. You can get it sometimes, but it's terrible. Doesn't taste good. All right, I think I need to make a trip to. Maybe it's a 2-country trip. Start off in Vietnam, head to Thailand, and then go to Australia. All right, now I'm hungry. I'm super hungry now. I came home and I haven't eaten. All this food looks delicious. So I think I'm going to eat. I think it's time to eat something. I'm going to try to find some at midnight. Can I find Thai food or Vietnamese food? Highly unlikely. Bun trong made from sticky rice and filled with green beans and pork. Oh, that sounds delicious. Is it wrapped in something? Ooh, that does look good. So is that steamed? Like, do you guys wrap it in like a banana leaf? Kind of looks like a tamale, like a Mexican tamale. That looks really good. So is the food in the north of Vietnam and the south like completely different? Like if you go to the US, right? If you're in LA and then if you're in New York, or then if you're in LA, if you're in Miami or New Orleans, food's completely different. Like super, super different. Like LA food, New York food is completely on opposite ends of the spectrum. The meal before bed. Yeah, it's not a good meal before bed. And what about Thailand as well? Is that like completely different? Like the north of Thailand and the south of Thailand? You know, I know there's different islands. Do they all have different types of food? Like if you go to the US, if you go to LA, you're going to be eating a lot more vegetables, a lot more fresh salads, like avocados and tomatoes. Everything is a lot more like vegetable forward. If you go to New York has a strong Italian influence, a strong Cuban influence, and a strong Puerto Rican influence. So you're going to have a lot of really good Italian food in New York. A lot of good Cuban food. But yeah, completely different from LA. LA is more Mexican food, and California sort of salads and vegetables. Not banana leaves. It's a dung leaf. What is it? What is that? Okay. Do you eat the leaf? Okay. So they're used to wrap the food. Wow, interesting. Look at that. I'm learning something new. I've learned that I need to eat some food. So you don't eat it. It's just used to wrap it, to steam it. But I'm sure it's adding some flavor, maybe, or some fragrance, maybe. Okay, well, my stomach is rumbling. I think it's time to go and eat some food, or maybe, yeah, maybe eat some food. It's midnight. Do I want to go outside when it's 4 degrees? I don't know. I don't think so, but I think I have to. We actually have 4 regions of Thailand. So we have also 4 different kinds of 4 regions. So the north, south, east, west are completely different food. So where does, like, some food, I guess, is standard, right? You'd have it everywhere, or no? Like pad thai, pad kimao. Is that from a specific region? You know, Teresa, I've been to Thailand twice. And the first time I went to Thailand, I was actually backpacking. I spent 1 month in Thailand. It was amazing. All right, guys. I'd love to keep talking. I'm actually really wide awake. This is like I only had 1 latte, but I made it a triple latte, triple shot. So I'm completely awake. I'm wide awake. So I could keep talking. But I'm also hungry. And I'm glad I got to meet some new people today. I'm really glad I got to learn about some different things which I had no idea about. It snows in Vietnam. There's 4 regions in Thailand. Wow. I hope you enjoy your midnight meal. Right? See, I'm going to feel guilty if I eat at midnight. It's like 12:30 now. If I do eat, I'm going to feel super, super guilty. Maybe I'll just watch. Maybe I'll watch some cooking show on Netflix. Make myself even hungrier. No, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat. Maybe I'll have another latte. Okay, guys, it's time for me to figure out what I'm going to do. Thanks for joining me again. Sorry for not being able to post anything for a while. I was super sick, but I'm back. And look out for the Versant test, which I'm going to have a lesson out soon for that. If you guys want to study for that, make sure you check it out. My next live will be on Saturday. It'll be Saturday morning. I'm going to try to do a little bit later than usual, so hopefully you guys can join. Teresa, thank you very much as well. Thanks for joining. Good to talk to you again. I'm back. I'm healthy again. Make sure you have a good night. It's only 10:30 where you are, so you still have some time to enjoy. And Regina, thank you. Fung, thank you as well. Thanks for all the information. I'm going to research to make sure I pronounce your name perfectly next time. All right, guys. See you in the next lesson. Later. See ya.